So, Dhammapala Setrap, the inner offering that he wants, is what the guru or the teacher or the master or the Dharma text has instructed you. The lessening of one's negative emotions by applying the countermeasures. Study, meditation on death and impermanence to counter those emotions. If you don't do that, why do you think you'll have good things in the future? Why do you think doing negative things will create positive circumstances? Some people sacrifice animals, and in the past even human beings, to the gods, whatever gods they believe in, believing that it will bring good fortune. Then I want to ask a question. Then what are the causes to go to hell? If killing animals and killing human beings to offer to the gods bring good fortune and it's good action, then what are the causes of going to hell? Being nice to others? Saving people's lives makes you go to hell? Doesn't make sense. So we wish to have pleasant words. We wish to have the Dharma. We have protection. We need to have the favor of our Dharma Protector. Then by being mean to others, pleases him. By disobeying the Dharma, what's the Dharma? Some God or some Buddha ordering you around? No. Human ethics. By countering human ethics, do you think that he will help you? Or good things will come as a result? You see, we can't escape from the fundamental practice of cause and effect. That's the fundamental teachings of Buddha, is cause and effect. What it is this: we need to take responsibility. So when we take responsibility for our speech and our actions, creating harmony, creating love, transforming our motivation, lessening our indulgences, involving more in Dharma practice and work, when we do that, that's an inner offering to Setrap. When you do that, you create the actual merit for him to help you. It's like a bridge from one side of the valley to the other. It's a bridge. Every time we say something negative to someone, every time, you push yourselves away from enlightenment. You push yourselves away from the three jewels and your Dharma Protector. Every time, every word. Even if the other person is wrong, when we do that, we push ourselves away. Every single time. That alone. Whether it's our husband, whether it's our friend, whether it's a Dharma brother, whether it's a kid or whatever, every time we're negative with our speech, every time we cut them with our speech or say something ugly with our speech, we create more ugliness and more people to not like us. You see, we don't have confidence. We don't like ourselves sometimes. We feel people put us down. We feel that people look down on us. People look down on us is because we created karma for them to look down on us. So if we tell people you look down on us, and we're worried about that, to create the causes for them not to look down on us is not to shout and scream, but is to be noble and push ourselves and make more effort to achieve something. That's much better. So what happens is the inner offering is a transformation of one's mind from a less harmful person to our wife, to our husband, to our children, to our co-workers, to our friends, to our enemies. When we lessen that by meditation, by logic and by learning and by knowing why. Not simply saying, I want to be a better person. That's all the new age people are saying that, but it's not happening. But by actually applying, listening to teachings like today, making an effort for it, listening to it, and then going back and contemplating and meditating and supplementing it with reading and applying that to meditation, you will see your mind transform. When your mind transforms, you will see your speech transform. You will see your action transform. You will see the people around you transform, the environment transform. Then you don't have to avoid eye contact. You don't have to be nervous and scared. You don't have to hide anymore. Why? When you do Dharma practice, the more you do, the less fear. The less you do, the more fear. Very simple. The more Dharma practice you do, the less fear. The less Dharma practice, the more fear. We have always lived in fear. It's time we stop. So, the inner offering in Setrap is that. The outer offering is the actual holy sadhana books that we do. Where's my Setrap book? This is a Setrap, thank you. This is a Setrap book composed by the High Lamas that is done by Gaden Shartse. I had this translated. I had the original text taken from India. And I had sent that to a translator in America. It cost me personally, over $12,000 to get this translated. Because it took them months and months and months. All the money I had, I put toward it to get it translated. Why? So that you guys can have it. And so, do I get my money back for that? No, but it's okay. It's all right. I had to pay someone in the US every month to do it. And so he translated it. He's a very good translator. Very good. And it's in full form. From the full translation, because I'm not very good in Tibetan. From the full translation, I extracted the main points and compiled this medium version. So this medium version comes from 1 year of work, $12,000 of translations that nobody was involved with. Nobody helped raise or do anything about it. And then sent to the printers and get it done and have it available to everybody. So this is a short form prayer of Setrap. Medium form that is extracted from the original puja we do in Gaden Shartse, as you have seen. Every single month, the holy monks of Gaden Shartse, 1,500 of them do this. Every month. For the last 600 years. That's what you have in the center. So the setrap we have in our center is from Gaden Monastery. Blessed by the lamas. As far as I remember, this Setrap statue was sponsored by Henry, is it? Henry and Angel. You see, many, many years ago, they were having business problems. They still are, but it's better than before. So my divination come out, sponsor a Setrap statue. They had a heart attack. We don't have money, some more you want more. I said, yeah, you have to create the causes to get money. So they, okay, we don't have it in one lump shot. They did it every month. They did it every month, month by month. I don't know what they did, they were in back alleys doing this and doing that, I don't know what. And then they got the money, they paid it off, so we have it. And every day someone prays and prostrates to it. It will create the karma for these two and their future. That's why we sponsor things. Yeah, my divination came out, you got to sponsor it. I didn't tell them, I had my henchmen go and tell them because I didn't want them screaming at me, screaming at my henchmen. I had a fat henchman at that time. The fat henchman called them up and told them, you know what Rinpoche said? You have to sponsor. I don't know, it was 12,000 or something like that? Not US, Malaysian. So the two freaked out. They were bankrupt, they don't have money, they don't have anything, like, some more, you want more? I said, yeah. If you tell them somebody else, they'll be like, see you later, bye Rinpoche, you crook. But they have faith, they did it. Now, this has been sponsored over. So what I did is, I made outer offerings available for all of you. I created a Setrap chapel, and that's why I'm trying to get the Buddha Oasis over. If all of you get involved and get that going, that would be very helpful for everybody. So I want to move Setrap over and have his own chapel, bigger, nicer, his own place. It's time he gets his own room. The big boy grew up. And then where we can do retreats of Setrap in there, the offerings are constant. And the offerings I made, what did I do? I'm so sorry, no offense intended. You guys are lay people. You don't hold monk vows like the holy monks of Gaden where they collect merit just by living. Just by breathing, they collect merit because they have their monk vows. It's better to be a monk drinking tea and sleeping than a lay person doing a lot of Dharma practice. Why? The monk collects more vows by the power, karma by the power of his vows, good karma. So, the lay people here, how? I thought, you guys are always complaining, no money, no relationship, things are sour, black magic, ghosts, spirits, all these things, all this I've been hearing for decades. I believe you. I believe you. I believe all of you. So I think, what can I do? I'm one person. I'm not Buddha. I don't have any powers. What can I do? I'm just ordinary Joe Schmo like you guys. So I thought, okay, let me bring Setrap here so you can worship. You can do pujas. You can make it grow. It will grow. And I thought, well, create an environment in Setrap where people can offer jewels. If you say, hey, everybody, offer gold this, the gold that, they'll freak out. And silver this, they cannot afford. But they can buy 1 pearl, 2 pearl, 3 pearl. Why? The pearl, the sustenance goes to take care of the center. It doesn't go in my pocket. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Too many people watching. Nobody watching, I snap it and put it in my pocket. But, too many people watching, too many big eyes. So it goes to the center to sustain it. For what? For this. For this. Then, the pearls you offer to Setrap. Why do you offer pearls? Pearls is considered a precious jewel. When you offer precious jewels, it's a direct link to destroying obstacles to obtaining financial freedom. So that's how I put it there. When should you offer it? Birthdays. Why? That's the day you came to the world. Don't tell me the day you came to the world you want to go to a strip club. You want to celebrate the day you came to the world with a strip club? You should celebrate it by virtuous things, by wonderful things, by beautiful things. Your wife's birthday, you love your wife? Offer something to Setrap. Sponsor a puja. Sponsor precious things to Setrap. That's beautiful. Heck, sponsor Setrap's chapel. I love you, my wife. I'm sponsor a Setrap chapel for you. Everything inside I sponsor for you. That's how much I love you. How beautiful. That's a real love. Why? It benefits her long term. Long term, not short term. Then, working for the Dharma. You love your parents? Oh, I love my parents. I love my parents. I love my parents. I love my mother's wonderful. My mother, blah, 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 all the time. You want to do Dharma work? No, I don't have time. I don't have money. You want to help your parents? You want to love your parents? Do Dharma work? Dedicate it to them. That's the best way to dedicate it to them. Then we have a center. Focus your energy here. Focus all your energy and everything here. We have a center. Develop our own center. Why run here, run there, run there, run here? The grass is not greener on the other side of the fence. You won't get respect. You won't get people kissing your backside or praising you or throwing flowers on you because you can go to a bunch of people who don't know what's going on. No. Focus here. This is your center. Give it your all. Make it grow. Our tradition is clean, it's pure, it's real, it's genuine. You can go check, go to Gaden. It's there. So I created a chapel there for Setrap. That's a small one. That's all I have at the time. But I want to make a nicer one, bigger one for everyone. And to make it beautiful and fabulous, so I make pearls, make offerings, candles, incense. And we're not like other temples where we're outdoors. We don't have a balcony. We can't, everybody in here offer one incense, the fire alarm will go off. We're going to have to call up Bamba. So what we do is, I said, okay, if people can spend on candles and incense, why not spend on one pearl, two pearl? So I made all that. The glass, the cover, and the table, so that you guys can offer pearls to make a connection, etc. Then you think, what happens when it gets full? Very simple. Take the pearls and send to Gaden Monastery, offer to the main Setrap there. Or sell it off, donate the monastery to the center or whatever. That's all. I mean, that's what Setrap's for. And then every Monday, is Monday I think, we have the pujas. Attend. Attend religiously. It's for yourself. Come on time. Come on time, attend, do from beginning to end. Help. Don't just show up like the Queen of England and do the pujas, and then when it's done, like the Queen of England, just take off. Show up ahead and help set up. Helping to set up is just as virtuous as doing the puja itself. Why? You think Setrap is like taking a nap, and then when everything's set up, he wakes up like you, and then he doesn't know anything? He knows. He sees how sincere you are. So if you're sitting in the pub drinking until your eyes can't see anymore, and you show up exactly for puja, and you're all holy schmoly, you're not holy schmoly. Setrap would know you were in a pub, letting your Dharma brothers and sisters do all the work, so you can show up like the Queen of England and just do the puja. Think. That's Dharma. So if you just show up, and then everybody has to do everything, you check your mind. What's your motivation? And is that Dharma? You check your mind. You check your motivation. No one else can check. No one else can check. You can check your motivation. If you're somebody and you can't do anything, when you're dead, your corpse is going to be thrown away just like anybody else or nobody again. What's the big deal? Now you may be a somebody, but when you drop dead, your corpse just mixes with all the nobodies. So you become a nobody. What, you think 100 years later we come and say that's a somebody, that's a nobody, that's somebody? Who knows? It's all dust already. Think. Pride. Ego. So, when we come to the pujas, we make fabulous offerings to Setrap. Peaceful offerings. Peaceful offerings are sensory offerings. Sensory offerings, you can see here. Water for drinking. By water for the feet, washing the feet. Why the feet? In Malaysia, like, why wash the feet? Because in India, touching someone's feet was a show of humility, that they are much higher than you and you are much lower than them. So offering water for the feet to Setrap or to one of the deities represents destruction of arrogance and to become very humble. That's what it represents. So when you offer the second water to Setrap, it creates the karma for us to become very humble. Then the next one is flowers. We all like nice clothes, we like nice food, we like nice places, nice house, nice appearance. We're attracted by appearance. We're very attracted. Beautiful girl, beautiful boy, we all want it. So this one is what has been creating our unhappiness for many, many aeons. So when we offer the flower, it's symbolic of our attraction to indulgences. Attraction to indulgences. So when we offer the flower, it is to create the karma to cut our indulgences off and to use it for beneficial things, not for negative. The next one is offering incense. Smells. Same thing as flowers. Attraction of smell. The next one is light. Offering light to the Buddhas. What, you think they don't have a torchlight? They have a torchlight. They don't need your candle. What's the point of offering light to the Buddhas? When you offer light, it dispels darkness, so people can see, so they don't trip over you, so they don't kick your titarek over. So what happens is, when you put a light there, it creates the karma for us to have our mind open up broader and wider and bigger, to think on a grander scale. Why? When we think very narrow, when we think very minute, and we think very petty, we create a lot of suffering for people around us, and we make suffering for ourselves when our mind is very narrow and tight and petty. So if we're always narrow and tight, we don't see anything. We suffer a lot. We create suffering for others. So by offering a candle to the Buddhas, the light dispels the darkness of a room. It creates the karma for us. What? For our mind to broaden. The next one is perfume. You think Setrap needs perfume? You think he's got BO? Setrap doesn't have BO. You offer perfume. Why? That's another sensory offering of the smell. Tactile feeling. Same thing. Same result. Same cause. Next one is food. Offering food to Setrap is another form of tactile, a sensory indulgence. How much time do we spend on food? How much energy do we spend on food? How many cooking shows is there? Food is just to sustain the body. It's not an art. It's not a practice. It's not something we should just sit there and jump up and down about. Food is something to sustain the body, and that's all it is, nothing more. If we make it much more than that, it's basically a waste of time. So offering objects such as food to the deities creates a type of karma to cut attachment toward sustenance. And the last one is sound. Offering sound to the Buddhas creates attachment to hearing pleasantries, praises, nice words. People put you up, people stroke you. Another ego-indulging activity that creates a lot of unhappiness. An attachment to negative sounds. People put you down, people say you're bad, and then you become angry, you react, you fight back, and you become defensive. Then when you become defensive and fight back, what happens? You create more suffering for others, you create suffering for yourself, you embarrass yourself, you alienate people, and then you become defensive and very, very scared. That's from your mouth. That's from your fear. So by offering the supreme sound to the Buddhas, sound is what? Just music? No. It represents sound. Pleasant, unpleasant. No attachment to either pleasant or unpleasant sound. So we offer the 5 sensory offerings, the 5 sensory senses. Sensory offerings is related to the senses, to Setrap. That's the fierce one. I'm sorry, that's the peaceful one. Then we have another set of offerings. I don't know if it's set back there or not. We have another set of offerings, etc., that you can do if you don't scare your family away. It's called the Wrathful Offerings. What are the Wrathful Offerings? The Wrathful Offerings are in relations to clearing obstacles and purifying negative karma. Along with the Wrathful Offerings, we have a prayer that we do called Kangsha. Kangsha is confession of our negative actions. Why do you confess to Setrap? Setrap is an enlightened being. Confession to any enlightened being with the 4 opponent powers purifies the causes for us to keep suffering negativities. Again, let me repeat. Confessing the negative activity motivated by the 4 opponent powers creates the causes for us to purify that negativity without having to experience it or lessening the experience to an enlightened being. So if you can confess to a grasshopper, nothing happens. You can confess, you grab a cockroach and confess to that, and with the 4 opponent powers, nothing happens. You confess to your wife, she's sleeping and snoring away and farting, nothing happens. You confess to your puppy dog, nothing happens. He just wags his tail. But confessing to an enlightened being, such as a Dharma Protector or a Buddha, with the 4 opponent, not just that, oh, I did something bad, I regret it, then you're thinking back in your mind, never mind, if I slip again, I can confess again. No, that's not real confession. Real confession is combined with the 4 opponent powers, then you will purify that negative action. When you purify that negative action, you put Setrap out of a job. Why? There's nothing to protect you from anymore. Nothing to protect you. So the purpose of him protecting you is to lead you to the state of not needing protection. He doesn't make you dependent on him, like some kind of drug addict. You know, you don't make pujas to me, I don't protect you. Then you're a drug addict, a Setrap drug addict for the rest of samsara. No, that's not the purpose. He is to help you to overcome so that you can protect yourself. Then, the wrathful offerings is like this. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, it's in relations to confession. It's in relations to confession and purifying that negative karma through confession. Real confession. Real confession, the four opponent powers, ends with not committing that action again. Then it's real. If you confess and you do it again, what's the point? You say to your Lama, oh, I'm sorry, you offer big baskets, offer flowers, bread, tea, money, grapes, whatever. Say, oh, I'm sorry, you regret. Oh, I don't want to do that. I did so bad. And next day you do it again. Next week you do it again. Next year you do it again. Keep the money. The offerings didn't do much. So, the wrathful offerings is this. Listen very carefully, because people get misunderstood and they look at Tibetan offerings and say, hey, why so fierce? Why so wrathful? Why all like that? Why? Let me explain in short and simple language. Because if I go into details, we're going to be here for a long, long time. Short and simple. Your anger, my anger, our anger, the anger of our enemies, the anger of our friends, the anger of the people in hell, the anger of the people and the beings in the animal realm, in the spirit realm, in the God realm, in the Deva realm, in all of samsara, all the anger. And similarly, the pride, the ego, the lust, all the wrong perception, wrong projection, all of that and its cause and its results, karma, all is intangible. So in our meditations, we make it tangible. We make that into a huge corpse of a human being. And that human being is symbolic of all these negative things that I just mentioned. And then we generate ourselves as a meditational deity, or we just visualize it if we don't have a higher tantric initiation. And we chop this person up. We chop this person up. As we chop this person up, we visualize all the problems and difficulties and all these ugliness disappear. Why? Because you are removing the cause of it. You're removing the cause, not the symptom. Yes, it's just a visualization and nothing really happens. But from visualization comes action. Because by visualizing and wishing, you create the causes for it to manifest. Everything you have now comes from a wish. And you fantasize. And you think about it. And you want it. And then when you grow up, or some of us grow up, you have it. All of it comes from that. So similarly, everything comes from the mind. So the mind's visualization or the wishes and aspirations are non-tangible. So we make it tangible by this visualization. And it's wrathful. Why? Your wrath is faster and quicker. So therefore, we visualize this huge being and we chop it. We chop the head. We take the eyes and the nose, the ears, the mouth, the tongue out, and we make that a wrathful flower. So do we have a wrathful flower here? Maybe office? We make that a wrathful flower. The wrathful flower at the bottom of it is a skull, the skull of this being, not you, not your friends, this being. Then the tongue, the nose, the heart, the two ears. It's a wrathful. It looks like a flower. You offer that up. Why? When you offer that up as offering the doors of the indulgences. The doors. So once the doors are closed, indulgences cannot come in. That's a symbolic belief. Then, from the corpse, you have food. Oh, good, thank you. This is a wrathful flower. No, not this one. In any of the tantric practices, you do not go out and slay a little animal and offer it up like this and pretend you're all holy. You don't take your best friend and do that either. It's all visualized. No Tibetan lamas go and catch a little kid, chop them up, and offer a wrathful flower to Setrap. Nobody does that. What do you think? You go down to downtown over there in Karasugurta. You go to downtown Delhi, and in the back alley you see Dalai Lama catching a rat and cutting off the head and making a wrathful offering saying it's a tantric practice? I don't think so. It's all visualized. Buddhist practice does not harm. So this is a wrathful flower. This is the skull. This is the eyeball. That's your nose. That's your tongue. That's your ears. That's your heart. And it's flaming. Why it's flaming? Because this one is what's creating all the fire and anger and unhappiness. So you offer that as a flower. Then the first bowl you offer is blood. So you take this corpse, you take all the blood and put it in there. Blood is considered essence of the body. Without blood, it can't function. You offer that first. Water for drinking. The second one is bile. Wash the feet. That's another liquid we have in our body. The third one is flour. Don't you love that? Bring that to your wife. Happy anniversary. If she's a tantric practitioner, if she's a yogini, she'll say thank you. If she's not, she'll say, ew, that's gross. Then, the next one is incense. Incense. What is that? You take the bones of the body, of this body, and you erect it up, standing up like a pyramid, and you light it. And the smoke that comes from it, the smell is incense. Then the next one is light, the fat of the body. And from some of you, we can make pretty big candles. So from the fat of your body, we squeeze all the fat out, and we make a big, huge offering of light. That's a wrathful light. I mean, what's butter anyways? And then you light that as letting go of attachment to your body. The next one is urine. Everybody's got urine. You fill up that, offer up the urine. The next one is flesh. Chop up the flesh. There you go. The last one is you save the thigh bones. You save the thigh bones of your legs, you make a thigh bone trumpet. And you offer that wrathful offering to Setrap. That is a wrathful way of purifying. Then there's a prayer that goes along with that, which is confession of all the negativities that we have done to others, to ourselves, breaking our vows, to our gurus, to our teachers, to our friends, to our family, all that we have broken. And we offer all this up. Why? This represents all the broken commitments and all the vows. Why? This ugliness represents the result of those vows if left unpurified. Okay? Then along with that, we can offer, we have a special 5-part offering to Setrap. 1 bowl of tsamba. You can ask one of my assistants, what is that? That's barley flour that is cooked, mixed with butter. Tsamba. Here, I don't think you can get easily or obtain it. You can offer instead something made of a flour. Flour. So it can be biscuits or cookies or whatever. All right? 1 bowl of flour based food. The next one is 1 cup of beer or alcohol. The next one is milk. The next one is yogurt, and the last one is black tea. These are the 5 special substances to offer to Setrap. Okay? Along with that, on the outside, you should have beautiful incense burning. Like in my place, I was offered a beautiful bowl from Tibet, you know, with dragons and all that stuff, and I offer protector incense every single day. Outside, you don't do inside, your fire alarm will go off. Offer incense every day to protector. You can get protector incense. Beautiful. And then, along in your altar, you have precious butter lamps made of the best materials. You have precious mandala, precious silver bowls or whatever bowl you can afford. Along with that, you should put different types of animals. Animals related to a supreme forest as an offering to Setrap. Why does he need that? The animals are just toys. You offer it up as a representation, offering everything pleasant in the world, that you can offer this to other sentient beings, what they need. Then, you can offer up weapons. I used to buy little weapons, but I don't do anymore because they look silly. I used to buy little weapons or little swords or whatever and put it up in Protector Chapel. I don't think you need to do that at home. Why? The weapons represent what? Weapons are blessed and consecrated, offered to Setrap, meaning what? Cut my obstacles. Cut my ego. When you offer up weapons to the wrathful deities, it is representative of creating the karma to cut your ego, which is the cause of all suffering. What is the ego? Ego, in this case, is I'm more important than others. Others are not important. And to hold that view. And to act from that view. So the weapons are offered up to represent that. That's why just now when we saw the video, when the protector took trance of the Oracle of Tibet with the Dalai Lama, you see him holding a sword and dancing. What does that represent? Victory over evil. Evil of what? Here. Buddhism doesn't focus on outer evil. It doesn't deny its existence. It doesn't focus because outer evil is created from inner evil. So the protector dancing joyously is victory over evil, and he's wielding a sword. The sword represents what? Destruction of one's ego, which is a cause of unhappiness. And the dance is very grand and very martial. Very, very martial. He's the only one that can dance in front of the Dalai Lama. What do you think? You think Jenny Wang can stand in front of the Dalai Lama and start dancing? What about Jivan? Before he finishes the waltz, he better waltz out. Even Scary Justin with that hair, they'll look at his hair for a few minutes and think he's an oracle and then kick him out. The dance is divine. The dance represents happiness of victorious Buddhahood. Happiness of victorious Buddhahood. So the protector is happy. He's happy about what? He's happy that we overcome the causes for us to suffer even more. So these are things we can offer on our altar. So we offer the peaceful offerings to Lord Setrap. Then we offer the wrathful offerings. Now you know what the wrathful offerings represent. And the prayers are in here, by the way. It's in here. It's in English. It's not in Lucanese. It's not in Martian language. It's in English. And those of you who don't read English and Chinese, give me some time. I would like to translate it in Chinese, definitely. Why? To expect the whole world to speak English is ridiculous. It's got to go in Chinese. So, what happens is, you offer the peaceful offerings and the wrathful offerings. Can you put Setrap on your altar? Yes, but not in the center, on the side. Can you put Setrap openly? Yes, you can. If your clients, your friends, your family don't look and say, what's that? There's nothing bad. They don't understand. They might be scared, so you keep it separate, maybe in a box or cover or whatever, or maybe a tanka or maybe a picture. Oh yes, we should have a Setrap picture. And we should worship it again and again. It becomes stronger and stronger. Do you know, in Chaching area of Tibet, there is a Setrap tanka. The Setrap tanka's paint was mixed with Trijang Rinpoche's blood. Trijang Rinpoche had a little bit of blood, a nosebleed, and they requested his blood because it's considered very holy. So, of course, they didn't go poke him and get more blood out. Just a few drops. They mixed that with the paint. And the artist, with prayer and respect, painted the Setrap tanka in Chaching. And do you know, whenever there's a disaster or any problems or difficulties or bad crops or any raids or in that area, the Setrap tanka would shake. It would shake and would let the monks know something's coming. They would inform the villagers. It's there now. It's not destroyed. The monks told me. Monks don't lie. Now. Setrap is practiced in Drepung, in Sarah, in all lineages. Setrap is a Rimé protector. Rimé means what? No lineage identity. No lineage identity. That's why it's perfect for us. So whether you're a Buddhist, you're not a Buddhist, you're Mahayana, you're Hinayana, you're Theravadan, you're Tantrayana, you're Vajrayana, you're no Yana, you're tired Yana, you're sleepy Yana, whatever Yana you are, if you develop a good motivation and perpetuate Setrap, he will help you. But remember something, you're not perpetuating a stupid bum off the street. This fellow's got wisdom. He's got clairvoyance. He can see the past and present. So if you say things or pray things and you have a different motive behind, don't think that you can trick everybody like you've been tricking your whole life. You can't trick him. What would he do for you? He just won't help you. If you make things difficult for other people, you're a complicated, difficult, very, very complicated, difficult person. You need Setrap. Why? Because your karma will come back, it will be very strong. Very, very strong. So what happens is, when we have a beautiful Setrap image here, we should come and do pujas. You have problems with business, come and perpetuate Setrap with the right motivation. You have problems with, you need to travel, perpetuate Setrap. Every time you need to go far away, you should make a time to come and visit Setrap, offer a kata, make wishes, and go off. disease, Setrap. If you're going for a checkup, something serious, perpetuate Setrap very strongly and trust him and go. If your kid is going away to study, perpetuate Setrap for him or her. There's no other way you can help them. Why does northern tradition of Buddhism have all these practices? Because the northern Buddhists in the northern countries are much more wild. They have much more obstacles to deal with. Much, much more. Whether the southern Buddhists or other Buddhist traditions accept or not, it doesn't matter. We know it's beneficial if the motivation is good and the result is good. We can check. Then we have spirit problems. We go home, spirits are touching us. Spirits are licking us. Spirits are knocking things over, making themselves known. We see them standing in a corner. Spirits are entering us. Spirits are going inside of us. They go in, they go out, they go in, they don't go out. All these, people think it's a joke. It's not. Spirits are real. Tibetan scriptures mention them very clearly, and the different types and classes and where they come from, who they are and what they are, and how incredibly sneaky and tricky they can be. It's not a joke. It's not a figment of people's imagination. It is not. Buddhist monks from all over the three yanas, the three schools, have special rituals and prayers to protect people from this. It happens. People die, they cannot move on, and they're stuck. And sometimes they become ferocious. People who die of being murdered, accidentally, violently, they have a higher chance of coming back as a very disturbed individual. And sometimes they live in the same place or the same area, and they relive what they have experienced again and again and again. That's the result of their karma. Remember, spirit reincarnation is a result of miserliness, greediness. And so they live in that area, and when you're living in that area and you're hanging out in that area and you're near them, you're in their space. Sometimes they keep quiet, sometimes they disturb you, but if you got Setrap, they leave you alone. So what do? You bring Setrap to torture them. You become their hantu and you possess them and you torture them. No, you shouldn't do that as a Buddhist. We shouldn't even harm spirits. What you do is you visualize with great compassion and great love that they've taken a rebirth as a spirit. And you show tremendous love and you show tremendous compassion towards them. And realize, how do you show that? Because they're suffering. You would suffer too if you don't have love. You have to live thousands of years like that. You don't have affection. You can't eat. You don't have any light. You don't have a body. And people, you don't have any company. You're lonely. And you have to relive your suffering again and again. You meditate on that. You meditate and you think about that and you have compassion for them. And you visualize them in their suffering form, not putting them down, but compassion. And you request Setrap to bless them. You recite Setrap's mantra, do the black tea, and request Setrap to bless them and help them. If they happen to be very ferocious and they won't listen to peaceful means, then you're going to have to ask Setrap to do wrathful means. Hence, some of the Tibetan lamas are very wrathful. They can scream at the deities. They can scream at the protector. They can scream at the spirits, and the spirits will run. Why? Some Tibetan lamas are quite achieved, quite attained. Their meditations are quite attained for many lifetimes. When you see the Tibetan lama, you see an ordinary woman or a man, but the spirits will see them as who they really are. And they will run. They will split. So some Tibetan lamas are quite incredible. They just tell people to tell the spirit, so-and-so lama told you to get lost. And the spirit will get lost just by hearing the lama's name, because they know who the lama is. It's like telling the people, hey, the police are coming, wrap up your videos. All right? Same. So it's like telling the spirits, hey, so-and-so lama's coming, be careful. Some lamas send their personal items there to be burned, to consecrate the area. Why? When the spirit smells the object of the lama, they won't smell a man, they won't smell the person, they will smell who he really is. It will give them a warning. Be careful. Don't harm the people. Help them. Some spirits will remain after the lama has blessed them. Some lamas will draw the pictures of the spirits, and give it to that household and say, make offerings to that spirit. Why? Because the spirit doesn't want to harm you, it's just hungry. So if you make offerings to him, it's not praying to him, just help him, poor thing. I mean, you feed dogs, you feed cats, stray people, you feed beautiful women, why not a spirit? So some lamas actually draw them out. After they draw the spirits out and you make offerings to them, the spirit stops disturbing you. Why? The spirit says, uh-oh, they know who I is. They know who I am. That's right. But it depends on the lama. Sometimes the lama just screams at the spirit. They're too much. They scream really loud at the spirit. Some people think, why does that lama scream? He's supposed to be a holy Buddhist monk and all compassionate. He's not screaming because because he's angry. He's screaming because this spirit is too fierce. So he's showing the spirit, I'm even fiercer. So when he screams, he doesn't hear the lama scream. He hears Yamataka screaming. So when a lama screams, you hear the lama's voice, but the spirit hears Yamataka or Hiruka screaming very loud at them. And the spirit runs. So he said, oh my God, there's Rinpoche screaming away again. There he is throwing a BF and screaming. For you, for your negative mind and your lack of devotion and you're easy to disrupt faith, you think he's screaming, you run away, I don't want to work, I don't want to hang around the lama, and you want to run away. And then you doubt. That's your stupidity. To the spirits and obstacle, they hear Yamataka or Hiruka screaming to clear away your obstacles. Those who have merit remain, those who do not, they gallivant away like a kangaroo with its tail on fire. And that's right, visualize that. So don't judge, you don't know. You don't understand. If the lama is fierce to you, he's doing you a favor. If the lama is criticizing you, if the lama is very fierce and criticizing you, he's doing you a big favor. He's doing you a tremendous favor. If you look for the lama to say nice things for you, go get a stupid girlfriend. Just get a stupid girlfriend who's really stupid and it doesn't see through you, and then she can tell you all kinds of, oh, you're handsome, you're wonderful, you're not fat, you're fabulous, you're great, and I enjoy myself with you. And she's all the time going like that. That's not going to help, is it? So what's my point? My point is, if the lama is screaming and telling you off and criticizing you, you are very lucky. Why would any lama jeopardize his reputation for you? Why would he make himself bad looking for you? Why would he ruin his reputation that he's not a holy, schmoly, calm lama for you? Unless he's got an ulterior motive to help you. You got to think about it. Some lamas outright beat their students. Saranji used to beat his students. If they were very sick or they're not well, he will beat them and they will become well. He will purify their karma immediately. These days, you beat people here, they're going to put you in jail. That's it. Purify, shmurify, palisi. Why? The merit has run out. So people have to suffer through what they suffer through. They have to suffer through the karma. So what happens is, the Dharma Protector's ferocious manner is activating one of the enlightened energies. Peace, increase, control, and wrath. There are 4 enlightened energies that the Protectors use. In Setrap, it's predominantly wrathful energy to get things quicker, faster done. Just like you saw in the video. Even when they come in the form of a human, it's very fierce. And they have to, actually these oracles, they have to do very strong yidam practices such as Yamataka in order to strengthen their body in the winds and channels, because the force of the Protector entering them is it's like a big mountain fitting into a small little box. So the force of the Protector coming in just makes the veins and the heart and everything go like that, explode. So when they do Yamataka's practice, one of the reasons, not all, is to bless the body, stabilize the heart, the chakras, the winds, the channels, so when the Protector comes, you can just stretch and accommodate them, and when they go, stretch back. So one of the reasons that you don't practice is to take care of the body. Protect the body from the force of the Protector entering. Oh yes, that's why we have things entering us. In case of Protectors, whatever, it's very important for us to do yidam practices. It's very important for us to seek a lama and do the practices. Why? Long term, even if the spirit or the Protector is good, our body can't accommodate. It will destroy our body. It's not they want to, but it's a natural progression, because how can 2 things fit in one? You and the spirit, 2, in one thing. Just think, if you got a shoe, you got to put 2 feet in instead of 1. How? How to fit 2 feet in one? So you got to make sure that shoe stretches, or else that's it. Broken ankle time or ripped shoe time. Same thing with the body. So we do the Yamataka practices. One of the reasons, not the main reason, is to get the body to accommodate the deity to enter. So they have to do intense retreat. Intense. Then, so these kind of offerings, our center very badly needs a Setrap statue. We don't have, because it's very hard to make. It's very, very hard to make. I want to make a very beautiful Setrap statue and mass it so everybody can have and offer beautiful face painting and jewels and mantras inside. What do we need? We need to find an artist to make it. Then the artist gives it to the statue maker. They make a mold. From that, they produce many. So we need to do that very badly. Why? Many people are dying for Setrap. And many centers around the world practice Setrap. Why? I get emails from them asking, do you have Setrap statue? There's Setrap statue. There's Setrap statue. I say, no, I don't have a picture. We need. And then who can keep that Setrap statue in the house? Only 1 or 2 people. Otherwise, it's too big. If you move that in, you got to tell your husband, get out. No space already. And for some of you, it might be a good reason, but don't. Oh, yeah. So we need to have this one. So at the center, we have this. It's all open for you to make offerings. Make peaceful offerings. Make wrathful offerings. On your altar at home, also at the center, make sure the offerings are done well. And have tormas. Have a main torma for the yidam, in this case, Lama Tsongkhapa. Have another torma. You can talk to the assistants here. Have another torma for Setrap. And have another torma for his entourage. So have 3 tormas, because in here you have torma offerings. Torma offerings with the right ingredients create the causes for us to gain the actual siddhis or attainments. Why the tormas in actual shape are shaped in such a way that corresponds to our inner channels, the 3 channels. So when we make the tormas, we offer it up. What we're offering is defiled channels. Replace it with enlightened, clear channels. So the channels of the tormas are in the shape of different channels. Like Vajrayagani's torma, Hirukas, are corresponding to the meditational practices. They're actually replicating the channels we meditate inside. People don't know that. People think it's just exotic shapes. It's not. So we have Lama Tsongkhapa's torma, Lama Tsongkhapa and entourage. Then we have Setrap's torma with entourage. And then we have the peaceful offerings, as many as possible. The wrathful offerings, as many as possible. 1 set is enough. Then the 5 special offerings, the beer, the alcohol, the tsamba, as I talked about, yogurt and milk. Then along with that, incense. Then along with that, you can offer here various weapons. Don't start going to the sword shop and bringing back all kinds of swords and putting here. One or 2 enough, thank you very much. And then you can offer up, I've offered a few swords, so no swords, thank you. And then you can offer up pearls each time. Special occasions, you should especially do that. Your husband going away on a journey, your husband started a business, your wife starting a business, your big company, whatever, your kid was born, whatever. Any special occasion, birthdays, whatever, come and make offerings. Come and make offerings. It's a very special way to do that. Have a spirit, make an offering for the spirit. You tell the spirit, you take the pearls home, you tell the spirit, I'm going to make this offering for you because no one's going to do it. Everybody's afraid of you. Everybody hates you. Everybody's trying to kick you out. Everybody thinks you're bad. Everybody wants to harm you. I'm not going to harm you because that crazy lama in Kichara house told me to be nice to you. So what you do is you tell the spirit, may you have good rebirth. May you have happiness. May you have warmth and nourishment and care. May you have a human touch. May you be reincarnated quickly to have a beautiful state of rebirth. And for that to happen, I take these pearls and I offer for you. And you put the spirit will cry, and you offer it there for them. Here, the minute you say spirit, they think, go away. The minute you think spirit, they think pujas to get rid of them. Not all spirits are evil. And some spirits are afraid of you, and some of you are quite scary. So if you look in the mirror carefully, you can pretty much scare a lot of spirits away. Take a look at yourself. Take a good look. Go home, turn on the lights. Don't put the dim light. Don't put the dark light. Be truthful about yourself. Put on a bright, bright light and look in the mirror carefully and see if you scare yourself. Some of you are even scarier than spirits. Take a good look at yourself. A real good look. Some of you scare yourselves. I know you go, oh, that's me. Yeah, I know. Poor thing. So what's my point? Immediately when you see spirit, get out of this mental thinking, evil, bad, harm, get rid of it. No. Have compassion. Have compassion for them. Have compassion. Why should you have compassion? They're in a state of birth that they have no control just like you. Offer it for them. Your mother who has passed away, I'm sorry to say if your mother has not, I don't mean any disrespect. For your father that's passed away, for people that are very beautiful and beneficial, a teacher, think about them, recite their name, offer it up for them. Dedicate for them. Remember people's kindness. Remember people's kindness. Very important. That's not even Buddhism or religion. That's just human. Remember people's kindness. So we can make all these kind of offerings. Kichara House does Setrap pujas every week. And they're very effective. Very, very effective. I know they are. Why do I know they are? Because it's the exact same one we do in Gaden Shartse Monastery. And Gaden Shartse has received tremendous help from Setrap for the last 600 years, as I explained earlier. So think about that. And then we can even get a duplication of the trumpets and the clarinets, all that, and play it low when we do our pujas, either at home or in the center. And we should do black tea to Setrap every day. We should do his prayer. We should do Lama Tsongkhapa's prayer first and take refuge in everything that's universally good in this world. And afterwards, meditate on Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga, recite the mantra well, and after that, invoke Setrap's help and do the black tea every day. Different departments, different businesses, every day you should do very strongly and very well, 100%. Don't do it once and get instant gratification. It doesn't happen like that. Setrap is an ancient, old, supreme deity. With time and perseverance, you will gain his allegiance. Once you gain his allegiance, he will not let you go. But he is not a protector that you can talk nicely and trick him and get him to do what you want. He's not stupid. He's not a deity. He's not a spirit. He's not a god. He is a fully enlightened Dharma Protector, sworn to Lord Buddha, Shakyamuni himself. Sworn to Guru Padmasambhava afterwards, reaffirmed his vows to Lama Loden Sherab, and again to Lord Tsongkhapa. He is not an ordinary being. He is not. The highest lamas in our pantheon, the highest lamas in the monasteries and in the system of Tibetan Buddhism, take him as their personal Dharma Protector. Anybody think the opposite? That's their own negative karma. Setrap means what? Golden cuirass. C-U-I-R-A-S-S. Cuirass means what? Armor. Golden leather cuirass. He wears the golden leather cuirass of an ancient warrior with a leather mail, M-I-A-L, leather armor, and that of a general. His face is red, that of hundreds of ruby mountains. Rubies stacked up, hundreds of rubies mountains, and the light shining on the ruby mountain, and the reflection that comes off of that is the color of Setrap's body. Glorious ruby mountain red. And he has 3 eyes, bloodshot, round, representing seeing the past, the present, and the future. Usually on the deities, there's a 3rd eye representing the central channel has opened up that they can perceive the past, present, and future clearly. Clairvoyance, clairaudience. Then his mouth is gnarled up. His teeth is as sharp as glaciers. Sharp glaciers in the mountains, white, gleaming. And he gnaws on his lower lip, showing extreme annoyance and wrath at people who create sufferings for themselves. With fangs sticking out. The fangs are shown toward obstacles and demons and spirits. He shows a demonic face to scare away demons. So his fangs are long and gnawing at the bottom, and his teeth are glacier sharp and white. Very fierce. And he makes a very strong, loud, high-pitched sound. Very strong and very loud. And he wears a helmet. The helmet has a sole of a shoe. Our shoe at the bottom, you rip off the sole. He has Guru Rinpoche's sole of the shoe of Guru Rinpoche as a commitment here. On top of that, a wisdom sword. That is the black piece here. Then he has peacock feathers representing royalty, representing supreme enlightenment. Royalty. Ancient times, royal people have a peacock feather umbrella over them wherever they go to represent their royal status. Then he has 5 flags. The 5 flags of an ancient warrior who goes to war. The ancient warriors wear flags and carry staffs and all that to make themselves look bigger and more aggressive and more scarier from a distance to chase away the enemy. Same thing. His great flags of war is what kind of war? An inner war. A war against one's maras. Then the 5 flags are 5 different colors representing the 5 Daini Buddhas. The 5 family of Buddhas are all inside of Setrap. Amitabha, Amoghasiddhi, Ratnasambhava, Akshobhya, and anybody remember the last one? Very good, Vairocana. The 5 Buddha families and the 5 Buddha commitments are embodied within Lord Setrap. He's a fully enlightened being. He puts out on his head to represent Buddha is the highest. Then his hand is in a wrathful mudra. In subjugating pujas, you do this kind of mudra to the spirits. This is a subjugating mudra. This mudra to the spirits represent, no, it's not like a rap thing, hey, I win. It's not that. This one is a mudra representing, you do as I say. I am above you. So when you do this, when a lama does a subjugating mudra to a spirit, it's a threat to them. Listen to what I say. I will bind you now. So this is a subjugating mudra. So Setrap holds a subjugating mudra with a staff. The staff is made of sandalwood that comes from the Malayan forests. It is known to be Malaysia, the forests of Malaysia. How that came about, I don't really know, but that's what it says. Then on this side, he has another fierce mudra. It's threatening. Holding a lasso, a red lasso, connected to a spirit, and the spirit is bound and caught. Is he harming the spirit? Of course not. Symbolic for showing he can bind spirits easily. No problem at all. Those who have spirits that are evil will run away from Setrap and run away from this area immediately. They will not feel comfortable. They will find an excuse or find some lame reason they cannot come back. Why? It's a fear of Setrap. So he will bind them very strong. Then his body is that of a full armor, riding on a horse, wind color brown. Wind horse brown. Wind horse meaning what? Travel at the speed of thought. Explores the 3 realms of samsara instantly. Instantly. He wears that of boots. Boots for war and armor. Again, inner war. His horse is very fierce. And a special characteristic of Setrap's horse is not in other deities. If you see if their mounts or horses, is the horse of Setrap's tail is bound and knotted. Meaning what? Setrap is very much into commitments and samaya. Whatever promises, vows, and commitments you have done, Setrap advises you to hold them. If you hold him, he will be able to help you even more. So the tail of his horse is bound and tied. And he rides over the ocean of blood. Whose blood? Earlier, when I mentioned all the negative karma visualized as a person and slain by ourselves, is that it's all of samsara's negativities in the form of that, and the blood is offered up. He rides over that, meaning what? He can overcome negativity. He is overcome completely. And from the pores of his body, spring forth fire, surrounding him, a flame, burning, moving, very strong, very powerful, very, very strong, very, very powerful like that. That is his iconography on the physical appearance. Okay, and he has an entourage which I will not get into because he has the speech entourage, the activity entourage, this entourage, that, and they all have their implements, they all have their horses. If you want to know more about that, you get this book. Setrap is in this. This book was written in the 50s, before the fall of Tibet, so it's very useful. This one, there's a chapter there called Tsangba, and in that you'll see Setrap. And it'll talk about the entourage and what they look like, all that stuff, so you can take a look at it yourself. Oracles and Demons in Tibet. Okay? So, let me see. Worshipping of Setrap. I think we'll put this one. I know I want it on. It's very hot. See, you guys can sit there with a nice, light t-shirt, scratch your arms. I'm sitting here with an astronaut suit on. The only thing I'm missing is a helmet, and I'm sweating to death. It's very, very hot. Because I used to teach with just a shirt on. One of my gurus saw me on YouTube and said, hey, you got to wear your robes, you know. I'm like, uh-oh. That's right. So I am like sweating. Because under this, don't think I don't wear anything. I've got clothes on. So I got pants on, shirt on under this, and then robes, and I am just sweating. Rivets, I can just feel it dripping. And I can feel the fever and the heat and the sweat, and I can feel my armpits, rubbing against the wetness, and I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable and happy. You see, Tibetan Lama's clothes are made for Tibet, not for Malaya, not for Kuala Lumpur. I was thinking about getting see-through light clothes, but it doesn't work. Very, very hot. I don't mind teaching. One of the things is that all the uniform, all this stuff, oh my God, it's very, very hot. So right now I'm kind of melting, but I'm not unhappy. If it benefits people, okay. Doesn't matter. I'm one. So like that, you guys can sit there in a comfortable shirt. Some are even cold. Boy, I wish I was cold right now. And relax, scratching your arm, you know. I can't do that. Comfortable, nice, isn't it? I can't do any of that. I can't even reach my armpit. See, oh yes I can, but I gotta do this. But you guys will know. The trick is nobody knows, and you do it secretly. You go, and then, you know, to see if you need to put on some whatever, BO powder. But you guys can, I can't do like that. You guys will see immediately because I gotta go through my Japanese robe. It's okay. I'm not complaining, I'm just stating a fact. Oh, I forgot I got a drink. It's solidified. Okay, it's a lassie, so it's solidified. Look, I'm not kidding, look. Okay. It looks and tastes like lava. So remember what I said about this. I gave a great explanation about this. Please remember that. This is excellent. Remember that. Then, well, the main practice here is not Setrap Protector. The main practice here is the 8 verses of thought transformation on our board here on the right side. That's our main practice. That's what we need to achieve. That's our motto. That's our goal. That is our objective. To help us achieve that, we do the meditation of Lama Tsongkhapa. To help us achieve that. And when we go through obstacles and problems while we're trying to achieve that, then we invoke upon Setrap's blessings and prayers. So luckily in our center, we have a wonderful group. We have a very sincere group. We have many people who have been here for many years who do the puja every week. They're committed to it. So join in. Make offerings. Help. And I don't know the dates, but soon we're going to have a 2-day massive Setra Puja, all-day Setra Puja. So those who are fortunate, attend. It will be very, very beneficial. Okay? So any questions? I'm basically finished. Any questions? Yes.
You were saying that we should not take refuge in a Dharma Protector, but however I thought that a Dharma Protector like Setrap is enlightened, so why can we not take
I didn't
refuge?
say don't take refuge in a Dharma Protector. I said don't take refuge in a Dharma Protector that's not enlightened.
But we can take
Oh sure,
refuge
that's
with
what I
Setrap.
stated earlier. Is what class of protector is Setrap? Worldly or extra-worldly?
Extra worldly.
No.
Isn't it?
Juan, can you explain to Mr. Educated PhD holder of a line of hotels? Say louder, put in the microphone so we can embarrass him. Oops.
Worldly form, but full enlightenment.
Yes, so in worldly form, how many forms is there? How many classes?
2.
Yes, in 2 classes, one is? Never mind, take your time, think about it in Thai and translate in English.
Mundane and super mundane.
In the two classes, then within the mundane, how many classes?
2.
Correct. Then describe the 2.
One is ordinary.
One is ordinary. Joy, you take over. Miss Thailand got stuck.
One is ordinary but an enlightened being, like Setrap, and the other one is ordinary but also appears ordinary and who is also ordinary.
Very good. Very good. So within the worldly classes protectors, you have ordinary, appearing as ordinary, and ordinary but enlightened. So which one does Setrap belong to?
Ordinary but enlightened.
Correct. Can we take refuge in someone like Setrap?
Yes.
What is the basis? Give me an example of why we can take refuge in him. Give me another example of a person in worldly form but enlightened.
Such as Nechung.
No, definitely not. Give to Shin. Give me another example.
Such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Yes, correct. The Dalai Lama is in worldly form, but mind enlightened. Can we take refuge in the Dalai Lama? Yes. Did you understand that, JP? Next time I'll speak Cantonese. Didn't know I can, huh? Yes, Susan.
So Rinpoche, there's a clarifying question. So, for example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is also enlightened, but in Sambhogakaya form.
In Nirmanakaya form.
Nirmanakaya form. And the oracle embodies Setrap, who is Amitabha, who is an enlightened form.
The oracle is the person.
Person, yes.
It's not Setrap.
Yes.
The oracle is the person. Don't get it mixed up. The oracle is an ordinary monk.
Okay. Okay, because I was about to ask, how is it that both embodies the enlightenment quality?
No. The oracle is just a vehicle for him to enter. He's not enlightened.
Understand.
That's why once the deity leaves, we don't. That's it. Thank you, oracle.
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any more questions? Yes. Nice headgear.
Thank you.
How many do you have? Never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to know where you spend all your money. Thanks. Go ahead.
At home, if we're going to do our Setrap Puja, do we do the medium line or the short one?
If you're smart and virtuous and stop indulging in all types of fantasies, you do the medium or long one. If you pretend you don't have time, you indulge in your fantasies, do the short one.
And then the Wrathful Offering cake. Because I have my altar.
We don't need an explanation.
No,
just ask the question.
Yeah, because I have.
She's going to explain her whole altar to us.
No.
Yes, come on, Gimli.
No. I'm just saying that I have in front of this Tsongkhapa is the 8th offering. So
Put it all together, no problem.
No problem. No?
No problem. Do you think Tsongkhapa is going to slap Setrap for taking up his offering space? No problem. Any more higher level questions? I don't want to be smitchy, but no choice. I know some of these new people are looking like, what an evil Lama. Thank you. I've been called worse. Yes, Ye. Our microphone system is wonderful.
Hello. Rinpoche, can you say more about you and the connection you and the Setrap?
Me and Setrap?
Yeah.
No connection.
No, the experience.
What do you experience?
Yeah.
He told me to go to Malaysia, and I hate him for it. And he told me don't stay in Gaden, go to Malaysia. So I'm trying to accept what his advice is. And, okay.
And also, your guru asked you to brought the Setrap here.
The guru?
Yeah, your guru.
No. Setrap bribed me. He gave me. He said brapa. I said okay. Give me 10,000 ringgit a year. I bring you here. He said okay. He brapa'd me. I can be bribed, I didn't say I was a Buddha. I'm just pretending to be. That's right. Okay. Do I have a special connection to Setrap? No. I don't have a special. My connection to Setrap is like any other monk of Gaden Shartse monastery. My connection is my previous life and previous life and previous life, so all Gaden Shartse monastery. So my previous life all worship Setrap and practice Setrap just like every other great monk of Gaden. So am I more special than them? No. Am I more better than the monks of Gaden? No. Do I have more better quality than them? No. So my special connection to him is he is the Gaden Shartse protector, and he has been for 600 years. So I am an incumbent monk. I am an incumbent teacher, a resident incumbent teacher of Gaden Monastery. So I have been praying to him since the day that I have entered Gaden Monastery. So when I was in Gaden and I saw the results he brought for many, many people, many lay people come, and I read about his history and I learned about him from my Dharma teachers, then when I came to Malaysia, I knew that there would be the same amount of problems here for everybody, just like everybody else in the world. So I thought a lot of people approached me for, how do I make my business grow? They asked me, I'm going to go on a long trip. I'm scared. I'm going to a country that's a little dangerous. Yeah, I've had that before. I've got things inside my house that I'm scared of. Or someone say, oh, I need my business to grow. Many requests like that. Some are very unhealthy. Some are in a coma. Some people in a coma. They pray to Setrap. It helps tremendously. And so I've been requested that so many times, and I told people, I don't have any power. I'm just a nobody. But Setrap is very powerful. So if I install Setrap here, as in the tradition of Gaden Shartse Monastery, I feel it will benefit many people here. That if people pray to Setrap and take him as their main Dharma protector, and they perpetuate and they solicit over time and over a long period, I feel it will benefit people very much. Why? On what basis? The monks of Gaden Shartse, the abbot, the High Lama, the Gaden Rinpoche of Gaden Shartse could never ever be wrong. So if Setrap is good enough for the High Lamas of Gaden Shartse Monastery, it is more than good enough for all of us here. Just think we're talking about highly realized Lamas who out of all the Dharma protectors pick him for Gaden Shartse Monastery. Why does such a great, huge monastery from Tibet, out of all the Dharma protectors, pick him? Why? There must be a reason. So if all the High Lamas trust him, if all the great masters trust him, if all the abbots of Gaden, the great abbots and the great geshes and the great Rinpoches, Trijang Rinpoche, all these trust him so much and for so many incarnations, then there must be something special about him. So I brought him to Malaysia. That I feel that people here, when they understand who he is, what he is, will have a lot of confidence and will benefit them tremendously. Because I don't have anything that I can help people, but I have methods that I've learned from my lamas that can help people. And it's helped me tremendously. And in the future, I wish to bring the Oracle of Setrap to Malaysia. I wish to invite. I can, and they will come. They know me very well. We're friends. All the oracles. Except for one. He's a little older than me. I don't know them that well. But they're all my friends. I know them. So if I invite them here, they'll definitely come. So maybe one day, in our retreat center, where there's space and place, we can set up a big throne. And we can invite Setrap here with the monks and do just like that. And all of you be sitting there with your katas. You'll be watching a god enter a monk. We can do that if we commit and organize the center. Don't think I'm going to bring the oracle and a great deity here and do all that here when all of us are sitting there just, what do I do now? What do I do now? No. So we can invite a great oracle here. And we can do the puja of Setrap, traditionally with the monks. And then we can make the offerings and invoke him to enter. And when he enters, you guys will have a total freak out session. Total. And you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to stop wasting my time. Oh, definitely. Don't think, oh, I'm smart, this is fake, I don't believe, blah, blah, blah. That means all the lamas in Gaden are stupid. The Dalai Lama is stupid. Everybody's stupid except you. You're smart because you know that it's not real and it's fake or whatever, and they're all stupid. I don't think so. Oh, that can happen. But that's not the highlight. We don't need an oracle, and we don't need some monk here, then he enters and he blah, 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 and dances around and throws a sword at us, and then he's real. He's real. He's here. He's here now. And he's present. That's why we make statues. Buddhists don't pray to the statues. They pray to what they represent. Oh, he's here. You believe in him? Make his chapel. You believe in him? Make Kachara House grow. You believe in him? Be good volunteers. You believe in him? Be real liaisons. You believe in him? Be real staff. You believe in him? Cut your indulgences and more involved in Dharma while I'm alive, if you believe in him. Don't only mouth work. You'll only fool yourselves. If you believe in him, believe by action. Commit, work, volunteer, do, transform. He will manifest many things for us in the future. His chapel will be very well known And in our retreat center in the future, many, many people will come up there and drive up there to specifically make offerings to Setrap Chapel. You will see. You don't know what he can do yet. Oh, definitely. Remember, I came here with 2 suitcases. That was it. I don't do business. I've tried. I failed very sadly. Pathetically, I failed. And even incurred loans. You know, I did some business before to try to supplement my income years ago. I even borrowed money from Joe. It took me years to pay him back. He never even said, pay me back. He's very nice. Yeah. I'm terrible in business. I'm terrible in everything. Even Dharma, I'm pathetic. But anyway, that's the best thing I can do so far. Yeah, that's right. Setrap is wonderful. That's why we need to have Setrap websites. Setrap practices, mantras, offerings, visuals, chanting, music, everything on Setrap put on the website and just spread it all over the world. Why? Out of compassion. Why? Because we care. But we need to start doing it here well. Today I gave an explanation on Setrap. Why? You will benefit tremendously. I gave you an explanation of the history, the background, the practice, the nature, offerings. I even told you about the oracles, how he enters. I even explained to you the process of the oracles and what we do before, and I even showed you visually. I went through the whole thing for you. And I even gave you a resource to look for if you want to read more about Setrap. So my job is done. Any more questions?
Say a few words about the deeper meaning of the black tea and also the substance of black tea.
That's very funny. You know why? I asked that to Cancer MT many years ago. I like that question. I'm going to answer the question that I like because I don't have any attachment. Let you figure that one out. Oop. JP's like, huh? No, I better not ask that because the one will be answering the question again. Tibet, certain areas are very lush and things grow very beautifully. Very nice. But many of the areas, very, very common, basic, easy things that we obtain here in Malaysia, people just throw out, like tea, was very difficult to get. In fact, the teas in Tibet had to be imported from China. And it was very expensive, and it comes in bricks. So many people couldn't afford tea. So tea in Tibet was something like wine over here. Wine is much more expensive. And tea was difficult to get. And tea was a staple drink of the Tibetans. So therefore, it was a staple drink and also an attachment of the Tibetans. Like for the English. So tea was a very big attachment. See, if you ask the Tibetans to offer coffee, it's no big deal. They don't like coffee. But if you ask to offer tea, they're like, oh, but I like tea. So when we offer black tea to the protectors, it's better than offering just plain water. So it's nice to offer one of our attachments. And one of our attachments is tea, and tea was something precious in Tibet and was imported and difficult to get. So it was nothing very deep as far as I know. It's more about offering something that was a commodity, hard to come by to an enlightened being. Why? To cut off our attachments. Okay? And when you offer the black tea to the deity, the black tea is not exactly what you see in front of you. The black tea is consecrated and blessed and turned into nectar. So each time you pour the black tea, you're reciting the verse of the deity. You're invoking them. At the same time, you're pouring it, and you visualize them imbibing or drinking it. So when you visualize them imbibing or drinking it, you make a link with them. You make a link with them. When you make that link, it's a karmic link. It's collecting merit because the deity absorbing it or taking it or partaking of it is an enlightened being. So when an enlightened being partakes of that drink that you've offered free of attachment, that you have offered that's something precious, then you create a very powerful link and forge a very powerful connection. Then right after that, you request him to do an action. So what it is when you offer black tea, it's an instant connection. It's like getting online with him. And you tell him what you want. something like that. Okay? Now, in regards to a Dharma Protector being, can be a yidam, technically, yes. A Dharma Protector can be a yidam according to Khyentse Rinpoche. Technically, yes. But presentation-wise, you will not take them as a yidam practice. But in the Dharma Protector's prayers, an enlightened one such as Setrap, you will say to him, you are my guru, you are my yidam, you are the Dharma, you are the Sangha, you embody the three jewels. I surrender to you. You will say that to someone like him. You will say that. To an ordinary Dharma Protector that's not enlightened like Ne Chung, you will not say things like that. You will more praise him about his activities and how he swore and his courage, his qualities. You will not take refuge, and you will not talk about qualities of taking refuge. So what happens is, if you think of Setrap as the embodiment of the Guru, Buddha, and Yidam, yes, you can according to Khyentse Rinpoche. You can. But presentation-wise, in the sadhanas, it is more about invocation and propitiation as opposed to meditation. Although Setrap's puja has meditation, but the meditation is not about transforming your winds and your channels to that of an enlightened deity. It is more in visualization to invoke the four energies of Setrap to perform a certain activity. So therefore, the pujas of Setrap doesn't contain the meditational manual to meditate to become a deity, such as that of Vajrayogini, such as that of Tara, or such as that of Hiruka or Yamataka. So presentation-wise, you would not take them as a yidam. Presentation-wise, you would take a yidam as a yidam. But ultimately, they're the emanations of the yidam anyway. Okay?